So you've made your relief carving. Looks great. You're going to hang it on the wall. And there are lots of different ways in which you can hang a carving, lots of bits of hardware and different techniques. But there's one thing you need to do with all your relief carvings before you hang it on the wall. Let me show you. This is a coastal relief carving that you've seen elsewhere on the site. Now, when I want to come to hang this, I might turn this over and find a midpoint. So this is the same distance from here to here. So I found my midline. And then I've put my fixing just there, hang it on the wall. And if I did that, what would happen is this. It would actually drop to one side. Why? Because the centre of gravity is actually over this side. There's more wood, more weight over this side, and it'll pull it out. It only needs a few degrees for you to notice it's wrong. So what you have to do with a carving, especially that's asymmetrical, and really I'd suggest with every carving, is to check the centre of gravity. And what I do is I get a board like this and I hold it in the vise. It's got a sharp edge here, and I'll mark, put a bit of masking tape on either end here, and then I literally balance this on the wood like so. Obviously more one side, more on the other, and I find this by eye. I don't square it up, but by eye until that's as balanced as possible. And then I will mark each end like so. Let's just put that down to protect it. And then I'll find, so this is to one side. I hope you can see that already. That's quite to one side, and this is one side over here. So I will join, if I join those two up now, then the centre of gravity is actually here. So there's the midline, but it's here on this line that I want to put my centre point. And you can be caught out quite readily on that. I'll show you another carving here. It's a very fine little carving, hardly any weight at all in it, and yet I didn't check, and I think you can see here that I've had to put a second hole by moving the hanger across to this side, about 3-4 millimetre, quarter of an inch even, but it's enough so that instead of hanging like this, it's hanging like that. I've just taken this carving off the outside of my house. I've never been able to sell this carving because I made quite a cock-up of the mounting. Let me just show you what went wrong, what a mess I made. So here's the back of it. You can still see the spider's webs and everything from the wall. This carving is completely symmetrical, absolutely symmetrical, could not be more symmetrical. So of course, not being wise at the time, I put my first hanging piece right down the middle, right down here where you'd think it would go. Well, what I didn't realise was that the end of this wood, because of the width, one side of it is from the outside of the tree and the other side is from the middle of the tree, so it's much, much, much denser. This means that when I hung it on the wall, the heavy side of the tree dropped it down like that, so it would never hang right. So, rather than doing what I suggested to you now and just moving that across, I thought, oh, I'll try something else. And I plugged in some lead on the lighter side, the sapwood side. So these are little plug holes, and in here is a big lump of lead. And I thought, well, if can't be much out, so I'll put a bit of lead in and I'll weight that down. But it was never enough. So I ended up with various pieces of holes like this that didn't work. And in the end, I ended up doing my balancing and moving the hanging point from here to here. So it's a bit of a mess up, but there you go. I did learn. Check for the weight of the wood as much as the symmetry. So there's a lesson to me as much as to you. What I'm trying to get across is that don't just assume that your carving is going to hang straight. You do need to check that balance, because even 1 or 2 degrees out will be quite annoying when you see it on the wall and you can't move it back. Anyway, so having said that, and made sure you've checked your balance, let's go and look at some of the various ways in which we can hold the carving onto the wall.